Picture this scenario. You are lying awake at 3 in the morning staring at the ceiling. Your mind is racing through every possible financial disaster that could strike tomorrow. Your car could break down, your laptop might die, you could lose your job, maybe your pet needs emergency surgery. Sound familiar? Well, what if I told you there is a specific dollar amount that could eliminate almost all of these midnight anxiety sessions? And no, it is not $1 million. It is not even $100,000. It is $10,000. I am Finn, your finance buddy, and I am here to translate the boring world of finance into plain English. Today, we are talking about why the first $10,000 you save is actually harder and more important than the next $100,000. Most people think financial milestones are just arbitrary numbers rich people made up to make us feel bad. But there is actual psychology and mathematics behind why this specific number changes your life. If you want to stop stressing about your bank balance, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Before we talk about the money, let's talk about your brain. You know that feeling when you are at the grocery store? You are standing there mentally calculating whether you can afford the name brand cereal, or if you need to stick with the generic version that tastes like cardboard. Or when your friends suggest going out to dinner and you have to come up with some creative excuse because you can't admit that spending $30 for a meal would mess up your entire budget for the week. This is the reality for millions of people living paycheck to paycheck. But it is not just about the money, it is about something called decision fatigue. Every single day you have to make 50 small survival decisions. Can I afford this coffee? Can I afford to drive to see my parents, or is gas too expensive? Should I pay the internet bill or the water bill first? This constant calculation burns mental energy. It is exhausting. By the end of the day, you have no brain power left to think about your future because you spent all of it trying to survive the present. When you have zero savings, every decision feels dangerous. You are walking a tightrope over a pit of spikes, and one wrong move leaves you devastated. But, here is where things get interesting. There is a specific psychological phenomenon that happens when you accumulate your first $10,000. The tightrope disappears. Neuroscientists have found that financial security literally reduces cortisol levels, which is your body's primary stress hormone. Reaching $10,000 does not just change your bank account, it changes your biology. Think about the last time you had a minor car problem. If you have no savings, that check engine light is a catastrophe. You are immediately panicked, you are sweating, you are wondering who you can borrow money from. But when you have $10,000 saved, that same check engine light becomes a simple inconvenience. You are annoyed, sure, but you're not panicked. This shift from panic to mild annoyance might seem small, but it has ripple effects throughout your entire life. You sleep better. You are more patient with your family. You are more productive at work because you aren't distracted by money stress. You stop playing defense with your money, and you finally have the mental space to start playing offense. Now let's talk about the most underrated benefit of this financial shield. It gives you the power to say no. I like to call this walk-away power. When you have $0 in the bank, you reek of desperation. Employers can smell it. If your boss demands you work unpaid overtime or treats you poorly, you have to take it. You have to smile and say, okay, because you need that paycheck next Friday to survive. But with $10,000 in the bank, you carry yourself differently. You can walk into a negotiation or a job interview with actual confidence. You are not begging for a job. You are assessing an opportunity. You are willing to walk away from bad deals because you know you have 6 months of expenses covered. And ironically, this confidence usually leads to better job offers and higher salaries. I have seen it happen so many times. Someone saves their emergency fund and suddenly their career takes off. Not because they bought a fancy suit, but because they stopped operating from a place of fear. Okay, let's get real for a second. I know what you are thinking. Finn, $10,000 sounds like an impossible amount to save, especially if you're currently struggling to put away even $50 a month. And I'm going to be honest with you, saving the first $10,000 is the hardest thing you will ever do in finance. It is brutal. Saving your first $1,000 feels like pushing a square rock up a hill. You have to say no to things you want. You have to be disciplined. You feel like you are sacrificing everything and seeing very little progress. But the hardest part isn't the math, it is the identity shift. Most people treat saving like a temporary diet. They starve themselves financially for a month, save a few $100s, and then binge spend it all because they feel miserable. The people who reach $10,000 are the ones who change who they are. They stop being consumers and start being savers. And here is the secret. It gets easier. Saving the second thousand is easier because you have built the habit. By the time you are working toward your fifth or 6,000, the process feels almost automatic. Once you hit this milestone, the math starts working in your favor. This is where the snowball effect kicks in. When you have $10,000 sitting there, you can finally stop thinking about survival and start thinking about growth. That money can start making little baby dollars for you through investing. You realize that money is not just something you spend. It is a tool that multiplies your options. So here is my challenge to you. Do not try to save $10,000 by tomorrow. That is a recipe for burnout. Start with $50, then $100. Just start building the shield. I want to hear from you in the comments. Be honest with me. What is the one guilty pleasure expense that makes it hardest for you to save? Is it the takeout coffee? Is it the tech gadgets? I'm going to be reading the comments, so let me know. If you found this helpful, give this video a like, and do not forget to subscribe to your Finance Buddy for more real talk about real money. I will see you in the next one.